Discs gone for 32 years. To play a game on PlayStation, you put in a disc and press play. Big announcement here from Sony. Starting in 2028, games will be digital only. No more discs for PS5. What does this mean for discs as a whole, in your opinion, sir?
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation decided, we're not just going to shit down your mouth once but twice this week because they took away 500 titles for movies that you already bought, but it's you don't buy them when you buy digital form. You get a license that can be taken away and adjusted at any time. So that's why there's this constant refrain now that if buying's not owning, then pirating's not stealing. And it's hard for me to disagree with that when they're doing crap like this. So there was that. And then later on in the week, they said, you know what? As of January 9th, 2028, that's it for discs. From going forward, it's always going to be a digital copy, and that's all you're going to get. Mark my words, within probably a month, maybe two, Xbox is going to file suit, or is going to follow suit, I should say. And they are going to do the same thing.
Any chance you think these companies will say, you know what, maybe we spoke too soon? Maybe
not a chance. Not a chance, because they've kind of been easing people into this as time goes on with, like, first it was the paywall thing, and then it was like in-game purchases, and then all of a sudden it became a reality. Well, that's how they're kind of delving, they've been kind of grooming people for this to happen. And listen, this is not a good day for physical media, because things like PlayStation and Xbox, they were keeping the torch lit for physical media because you had to have that physical disc. There's going to be less and less incentive, I think, now for places to create those discs. So it's going to be more of a boutique type thing. But it's sad because I think that we're starting to see the death knell of physical media, which I don't like, because the fact, like, I like holding it in my hand. I like seeing the artwork.
Do we like that as much, though, with video games? Because I wonder if maybe I've just been out of the video game scene for a while. But it seems like people are going to be more accepting of that, as opposed to, say, those of us of a certain age with film or music.
I think it's kind of a mixed. It depends on what age gamer you ask, I think, too. That has a big thing to deal with it. But I tell you what,
I think some 17-year-old kid doesn't give a crap, I would argue.
Yeah, but young or old, you get pissed when your library that you paid a lot of money into gets suddenly taken away because, you really don't own it. You just own a license.
If that happens, though, yeah.
The thing is, it happens on a regular basis. It
really?
happens all the time. Oh, yeah, all the time, especially with films. So there's no guarantee that you're going to have to, not make the person rebuy it and all these things. So, but in terms of just the physical media aspect, I think it might be striking towards the death knell. So I would urge people that are collectors, first of all, hang on to your stuff. I'm hoping maybe it'll get a resurgence like we've seen with vinyl at some point, along those lines. But I'm not going to lie, man, it's a huge bummer as somebody who really believes in physical media, attributes of being able to hold it in your hand and purchase it and know it's something that you have and that you own, and it's not something that can be manipulated or taken away or have scenes removed, or let like some of the shady shit we've seen before happen. It's a tough day for us physical media people out there.
I wonder what it'll do to film, TV, music. Like, will it have any effect? Is this kind of like an adjacent thing? Because obviously music and movies have gone digital for decades now, right? So this shouldn't impact that, I would think.
I wouldn't think, in terms of like the production of making movies and things like that, I don't know how exactly it's going to affect it. It's a market that they're now going to have to either decide whether or not they're going to want to invest the money or not, because some places are, they're contracting out the work where they're not making it basically in studio, in terms of they're letting some of these other companies to do it. Like the fringe titles or whatever sometimes aren't necessarily made by the studios that did them. They'll give them to like Arrow or something like that to go ahead and make them. It's like, hey, yeah, if you give us a cut, but as long as you put up doing this, it's fine or whatever. But I think there's going to be less incentive for places, like Warner Brothers or whatever, or Paramount, to have like their own physical media group that is completely in charge of that. If it's going to, bottom line, it's going to be the money. It's all going to come down to the money. And if it's going to save them money, it's going to save them money.
I'm still a sucker for the old Nintendo cartridges. I don't care what anybody says, which is ridiculous to think about because it's this ugly gray rhombus square type of shape that's never been duplicated before.
They're not aesthetically pleasing at all.
No, but there's a feeling you get when you see like an old Zelda or Hogan's Alley or whatever, Super
You
Mario Brothers.
get a core memory unlocked when somebody blows into the cartridge to get rid of the dust.
Yes, absolutely. Not the case with disc, though, maybe. Though holding the box, of course. Looking at the back of the box, right? The instruction booklet. Those were always fun for some of the role-playing games because it was like almost like a book.
My biggest concern, I think, too, for physical media is the scarcity aspect. It's going to be, you're going to have a diminishing supply even for the people who are in demand for it. I mean, like, it's happening now. Classic example is that Amazon is releasing a 3-disc steelbook that's just specific from Amazon for Project Hail Mary that drops in October. And when I went to look for it one day, the day after it was put up on sale for Amazon, sold out. Luckily, 2 days later, I looked again, and it was available. So I click as quick as I can. 2 hours later, gone again.
Wow.
The 10-year Arrival steelbook that I've really had my eyes on. 2 days after it was on Amazon, gone. Can't find it. So now you have to continually keep looking for it, or you're going to have to be going on eBay and stuff like that. That's my thing too, is like scarcity,
Yeah. Movies and music, I think, and not to poo-poo like the video game crowd, but
not
I
at
think
all.
with film and music, physical media holds a different kind of weight. If you take the oldest, most famous video game, whatever that is, Super Mario, Sonic, I don't know, Pitfall, it's not the same as holding, say, an Abbey Road record, right? Or Thriller, or the first Wu-Tang, or your VHS copy of Star Wars. Like, it's just not the same, I would argue.
I guess it depends on your perspective, because classic video or video game aficionados and collectors, they do consider that.
But I would almost say that they're more rare. Maybe there's not as many of them. Even though I'll sit there, like, if you gave me a bunch of old Nintendo games, I would happily take them and display them.
Right.
But not so much, say, like anything post 2000. Once it went the disc route, it just seemed to, I don't know, lessen a little bit for me.